Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Astro Planet. Welcome to the world of astrology and football. Um, it's so much, it's impossible to cover it all, but only the last week brought about more fascinating stuff, and I give you the headlines. I want to present you like the headlines, the best stuff in this clip, and you can see what's on the list here. It's football and some related. We'll get later to this. I talked about this a lot. It's Jupiter. It's Jupiter that brings the good stuff, brings the victory and the honors and money and stuff like that. And here's a nice lineup of examples with how Jupiter is involved in the victory. So we start with let's have a look, because this is all like about the full moon that we just have. It's now the day before Easter, and we have the full moon in Aries and Libra, and this here to start with is almost the chart you see for Friday. Here the moon has already swapped into Scorpio, but the full moon was here in the last degree Libra. You just keep that in mind. And it was a German tennis player to start with, Petkovic. She was on basically exactly with the full moon on. And see where her Jupiter is. It's right here, where it's right on, hit by the sun with the full moon. And she was on in Federations Cup against Ostapenko, and she was outsider 2-1. And guess what? She won the match. Celebrations for her. Yeah. And now we get to football, and it was the day before. So yesterday, Thursday, was the Euro League, Europe, and it was Chelsea playing, and they had a player with a nice Jupiter. See, this is Pedro from Chelsea, and they see where his Jupiter is. And of course, the day before, the sun was a bit distance, and the moon even was like, or something like here, but it doesn't matter, because only to know that the full moon, like on the next day, will be right on this Jupiter, square with Venus, by the way, as well, is enough to like point to this man and like raise an eyebrow over this, or more than that. So I put some coins on him to score against Prague. Some goals were rather likely, and yeah, guess what? Pedro, he scored after 5 minutes already, and there was another goal in the first half, and he was involved in the third. So it was just his evening, and final result was 4-3. Bit silly, but after 4-1. But doesn't matter here. It's about this man and the point that I want to make. You know, a full moon or a new moon on Jupiter, that's a big sign, a big spotlight. Bang. Now, and to contrast this, there's a nice opposite story, so to say, because the chart that I just had shown, this was for when the match in Championship in second league in England started at Leeds. And as said, the full moon was here, and now I'll show you the chart from the manager from Leeds, Bielsa, and see what we have here. We have Sun Uranus exact, and it's in square. It's in the apex of this full moon. So what will this bring? Well, you would have to look more into detail, I guess, but as it turned, like Uranus here is just for the unpredictable or the spectacular, and maybe it can go either way. And what happened, in fact, was that Leeds, they lost at home, although the other team had a red card from, I don't know, 10th minute on or so. And Leeds, they took the leads, and then they lost 1-2. And it wasn't just any defeat because they want to go up, and they just dropped from the second place due to this defeat, and may fear for their direct, what you say, elevation to the Premier League. So this is a big thing, and disaster thing for that for Leeds, and only fits very well with this extra special constellation for this man. So remarkable story, I say. And this next example that's now nothing to do with the full moon, but it's this is Bruce, the manager from Aston Villa, and they are on a high, like they won the last 6 matches or so. And here it's just to note that for the noon chart, the moon is on 24, just opposite the current Jupiter, and they keep winning, winning, winning. Here also we have Venus and Uranus, so this is perfect lineup, and so they are on a real high, on a real series. And the remarkable thing that, as I said, the noon chart, the moon for the noon, it seems to work in a way, you must think. So that's another exciting thing. Going back in this week, of course, there was this incredibly crazy match in Champions League, City against Hotspurs, 4-3, a crazy match with video referee and 4 goals after 11 minutes. It was incredible. Could talk a lot about this. I don't want to expand this here too much, but I admit that this is tedious work, but I want to point out that first point, we have the part of the moon, the part of fortune is exact conjunct with Chiron, and the tedious thing is you have to look for Antisha too, for the mirror points, because Venus Antition is falling on 3:30 of Libra, and this is exact opposite to this lunar part of fortune Chiron thing, and maybe that counts for the 4 goals, immediate 4 goals in the first 10 minutes, which is so unusual. You've never seen this. And the next, well, I had picked Aguero to score in this match, and he did, because his son is on 12, and that's exactly where Mars was. Well, it was a degree, but it was there. Thing is that it isn't. It was a goal, and he thought it was the decisive one, but then it wasn't. And well, this is an AB chart as well, and the moon is in a tight quincunx with the sun. So quincunx is almost always like it's the odd thing or the accident thing, or so you get the combination from a lucky goal with a disappointment in the end, maybe a way to read this. Final point here, I want to say that after all my personal statements, the video referee, the last decision that was so crazy in extra time was right, but the 4-3 for Hotspurs, this goal with the arm, that was a clear mistake by the video referee, because this guy Loriente, he hit the ball with his elbow, and it was exactly obvious with some time. But if you have to do this decision, you sit on the screen, you have to a minute or two or so, you get it wrong, and they did get it wrong. So Hotspurs, they didn't really deserve to be in Champions League, but that's, I don't know, that's the business as it seems these days. Okay, the easy part was Klopp and Liverpool one more time. That was the same night, and the moon was on 440 in Libra, and I showed this plenty of times here, the chart for Jurgen Klopp, manager from Liverpool. This is birth time is pretty accurate. It proved right several times. And see where the moon is. It's right there. So 4:58. It's his moon. It was his night, and so they didn't only reach the semi-final now, but they won 4-1 at Porto even. And yeah. Also, the figure here with part of fortune and Chiron, it's not that tight as in the other chart, so different thing, and no, not like 4 goals in 10 minutes in the beginning. Would make sense. Now for some outlook to the weekend, and this is Griezmann from Atletico Madrid. See where his Venus is, it's in the apex here, and the Uranus is coming, and he had a lack of goals for some weeks time, and it ended when, like, it was a week ago, I think, or so, with a goal he scored, and that was exactly when the moon was, like when Uranus was here and the moon was on Jupiter, and then he scored again. But now on the weekend the sun will approach here as well, and I looked this up. It's not the weekend match, but on next Wednesday, 24, they will be playing with Valencia, and this is a chart for this match. The sun will always be behind Venus from Griezmann, but then here they cover it, sort of Uranus on one side, the sun on the other, and I'd say, look how much this is in the center of his chart, that he will score bang, 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 maybe more than one goal. So that's my prediction for next week. And now for the final, something completely different. Of course, I hope you're not into this only for the sport or only for the betting. Of course, the astrology is much, much bigger. And in case you didn't hear that or didn't know that yet, the story is so crazy, it's so unbelievable or remarkable, and so I want to take note here, a quick note on this. It's a matter of fact, you may know that there's thousands of asteroids in the sky that have names by, like, from me names or scientists' names or mythology names or whatever. And as it turns out, there's Paris, the asteroid Paris is on 1st degree of Libra, and it is conjunct this thing here that's called Messier 87 and 87. And you would believe it or not, this is the galaxy, it's the supergalactic center also, but this place, this galaxy, yeah, this is the place or the galaxy where they took the so-called photo from the black hole. That was around only last week, 5 days before the fire at Notre Dame. So isn't that crazy? It's conjunct, and it's on that night, on Monday, some minutes before the fire was official, so to say, 1830, it was just rising over Paris. Would you imagine? So this completely unrelated, apparently completely unrelated events tied together in the astrology, and there would be much more. I have to hurry. You note, of course, Jupiter here on 20th and 25 in Victor Hugo, who wrote the famous novel on Notre Dame. just to make this point. This is an AA chart as well, and his moon is just on the same